Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. Good morning. Here it is. It's Blog Talk Radio. And I am your host on the K Factor. This is Dr. Deb Carlin at your service. Ready, interested, and very willing to be an influencer here for you for your Monday mood. So this morning I woke up. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course, it was still dark outside. And I thought to myself, what is it that I want my intention to be for this day? I'm going to be talking about Monday moods, and it's my responsibility to show up. And that's part of why I've made the commitment to do these shows. It's my responsibility to show up, not just for my audience, but for me, to come out here and to do something to influence something positive. This platform on Blog Talk Radio has long been called the K Factor, where K equals kindness, and the factors are all the things that lead to it. I take that seriously. There's so much out here in the world that's anything but right now. I aim to change that every day. I falter, I wiggle, I struggle, and I get back in alignment with myself, and I continue to proceed down this path because I genuinely believe in it. So this morning, after a lot of social media, which I do because I love being connected to people, and I do because I do my business a lot through social media, I felt all jittery. There's people everywhere wanting to defend and explain their position on one thing or another that we're all struggling with. And we are all struggling. I don't know anybody who isn't out here struggling or in here struggling. It's a challenging time in our world. But as a friend of mine in Europe posted this morning, and this was a turnaround for me after they had posted a beautiful video from YouTube, which I posted on the Facebook page of Deb Carlin, with a camera on his helmet. And as he was riding through the old European streets on his bicycle, and there was no traffic, he said, here's an advantage to the virus. Okay, that's one way to look at it, isn't it? And it's kind of beautiful because it was peace. As he's zooming down the road and there's birds kind of flying around him a little bit. It was pretty neat in an urban setting. So this morning I just felt the jitters, the angst of not being heard, not feeling like I'm being heard, or I'm being heard and being misinterpreted. And then I realized I'm maybe not hearing others and misinterpreting them. It just put me in a position of feeling, as I clenched my hands into fists in frustration, made me feel uncomfortable and jittery. And I thought, what do I do with this? I know what to do. I have a medallion that I wear of the miraculous mother. And I grab hold of my medallion. It reminds me to pray. So I pray. Then I breathe. Then I become conscious of my breathing. And then I meditate. And I meditate. And then I meditate. And if you don't think you have time for a 15-minute meditation, then you need to do 30. And if you don't think you have time to do 30, then you probably need to do an hour. Because setting this time aside for yourself is sacred. Sacred. You are sacred. Make the time for yourself. So what I did was I put on my yoga pants with my Tommy Coppers underneath so I'd be nice and warm and supported. And I put on a nice warm sweater over a Tommy Copper undershirt, long sleeve, because it's cold outside where I'm at. And I walked outside. I put on my clogs, Swedish heritage that I come from. I put on my clogs because I wanted to go outside onto the grass, onto the lawn, and do some grounding, or as we called it when I was a child, barefoot. And I just wanted to stand on the grass and feel it beneath my feet and get a vision next to a tree of me rooting myself into the earth. And as I did that and I stood and I looked down, I said, on the inhale, I am love. And on the exhale, I said, everywhere. I am love everywhere. We are. if we allow it. And it's not always easy to allow it. It's like I've said here on the K Factor, kindness, real kindness takes courage, because it's a lot easier to be other ways. We have to come back to our core of goodness in order to survive ourselves sometimes, right? So I stood there and I looked down at my feet on the ground and I contemplated about that, and I got this vision. I was standing next to a tree and I reached my arms up and I stretched them out beside me and up over my head and out to the side and all the way back. And then I leaned back as far as I possibly could, arching my back and breathing and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I am love everywhere. And this is Monday. My mood for Monday will be one of excellence and achievement and gratitude and blessings and graciousness and goodness and kindness, and being the influencer of that for me and for whoever else is going to allow it in whatever audience it is I have, whether it's 1 or 1 million. And I invite you to join me on this journey because, quite frankly, it's not only lovely, it's love filled, because there are things all around us that are spectacular. I invite you to go over to my Deb Carlin page and experience that earthing that I did this morning, because I'm doing a Facebook Live and I was just taking you right there. Wait until you see the scene that I brought you to. It was so peaceful, just beautiful. And I love that. It is true grace. You are true grace and love and blessings. And when we lead with that, we really have healings. Do you know, we do PET scans and we can see the activity into the mind. We do MRIs and see the utilization of parts of the mind. And when we're in gratitude, when we're in appreciation, when we're in love state, we have patterns that become more alive. We see that there's greater utilization, that we have neurons firing, not getting halted in anger because we're clenching and depriving ourselves of oxygen when we're uptight because our vascular system constricts. We have to loosen up and be free enough to express our love to ourselves and then to one another. On that note, I wish you a beautiful, wonderful Monday. This is your host, your friend, the influencer, I hope, for your day. Set the mood, make it wonderful and groovy and terrific. Dr. Deb Carlin here on Blog Talk Radio. Until next time, ta.